Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top 15 tight end rankings for Week 7. You ready?
Those Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
Those Fantasy Goodfellas.
All right, before we get started, let me just talk and look at all the tight ends that were in the top 30 in Week 6. So if we look at this is what we're looking at, right? So I'm not even going to worry about the predictions because most of the times we're going to pick those tight ends that we already know about. So Travis Kelce, Dalton Schultz, Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, Brenton Strange, Quinton Morris, Michael Mayer, Kylan Granson, Trey McBride, Taysom Hill, and Dallas Goedert. The reason why I bring this up, because what happens is when it comes to tight ends, this is probably the most interesting category because it's all over the place. You might have some people come in, you might have some people go out, and if you're looking to win some fantasy games, you're going to need a gamble. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the stats and the prediction. I'm going to show you the predictions that are compiled from some people, some writers, and then we're going to talk about it, show some trends, and then we'll go back and look at maybe who you could pick up that's trending. All right, let's just get started, okay? At number 1, who else? Travis Kelce, home versus the Los Angeles Chargers. There's no question that Travis Kelce is your starter. It's a tight end. No matter what happens, it seems that Patrick Mahomes can find him in the end zone. But last week he didn't have no TDs, but he did have 124 receiving yards. Number 2, TJ Hawkinson, home versus the San Francisco 49ers. TJ Hawkinson, he was the 13th ranked tight end with 50 receiving yards. And the question for him is that Kirk Cousins is not doing too well. They're going against San Francisco. It's really affected. The whole team's affected by Justin Jefferson not playing, and I think everybody's going to be affected by it. But if you got Hawkinson, you're going to start him regardless. Number 3, Mark Andrews, home versus the Detroit Lions. Mark Andrews, he was the 9th ranked tight end in Week 6. You're going to rock him. You're going to rock with him the whole season. But just look, Week 2, Week 4, and Week 5 and Week 6, he was in the top 16. I like to use the top 16 as my way to rank these tight ends. You're going to start them. There's only one tight end spot per team. Number 4, Sam Laporta at the Baltimore Ravens. Sam Laporta just missed the top 16, but I still like Sam Laporta because he's with Jared Goff and that Lions are having a good season. At number 5, you got George Kittle at the Minnesota Vikings. I guess the big question was, after a 3 TD game, what was Kittle going to do? Well, he laid an egg. And that's what the outlook looked like. This is his rankings. He's only been in the top 10, 2 out of the 6 weeks. But it's George Kittle. The upside is too great not to start him. At number 6, Dallas Goedert versus the Miami Dolphins. Goedert was the 15th ranked tight end in Week 6. He did that with 42 receiving yards. But the key I like to point out is he had 8 targets. And for the tight end, that's a lot. And so he should do much better. And no problem with him. Number 7, Cole Kmet, home versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Now the big question is Justin Fields isn't playing. And how has Cole Kmet done all season? And he's been in the top 16 3 of the 6 weeks. So I guess, again, if you have Cole Kmet, you're going to have to play him. At number 8, Darren Waller, home versus the Washington Commanders. Now, I watched that game, and if Waller would have grabbed that touchdown, he could have been much better on this list. But 7 targets, 5 receptions, 43 receiving yards. And this is how he looks like over the entire season. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 weeks, he was in your top 16. So if you have Waller, you're going to have to start him. At number 9, Evan Ingram at the New Orleans Saints. Again, he was the 16th best tight end. He did that with 41 receiving yards. And how does he look like on the season? Well, he's in the top 16 most of the week, so no problem there. Evan Ingram, you got him, you start him. At number 10, Kyle Pitts at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Kyle Pitts should be moving up these rankings. He was the third best tight end in week 6, and he caught a touchdown, and he had 43 receiving yards. But the thing I want to point out here is that Desmond Ridder had 370 keep on saying that wrong. 307 yards passing. And you have Jonnu Smith and Kyle Pitts both caught a touchdown. And so that bodes well for Desmond Ridder. But I think what's going to happen is he's turning to those tight ends as a young quarterback. At number 11, Logan Thomas at the New York Giants. Well, this is where I personally was affected by it. I could have started Michael Mayer, but I started Logan Thomas instead. And what did he do? He laid an egg. And those are the decisions we're going to have to be making. But if you have Logan Thomas on the season, he's doing decent. And that's what it looks like. Weeks 5, he was the 6th best. But let's just look at what he's doing. He's getting some yardage. That's that. That's his TDs. And this is his points. That he's going to score you some points, but you're looking for some home runs here. You're looking to gamble, and I think Logan Thomas is the gamble. He is going against the New York Giants, but it really depends on who you can pick up on the waiver wire. Number 12, Dawson Knox at the New England Patriots. I like Knox this week. He's going against the New England Patriots. That defense has been horrid, and then that Buffalo offense, Knox is due a good game. And how has Knox done on the season? In his rankings, well, he's been outside the top 16. But I think this week he can be like week 2 and be the 10th best tight end. Number 13, you have Luke Musgrave at the Denver Broncos. All right, I'm not even going to look at him. Musgrave going against the Denver Broncos, start him. I don't care what's going on. It's the Denver Broncos. That would be my other gamble. Number 14, Pat Freiermuth at the Los Angeles Rams. And I guess Pat Freiermuth, here's the one that he had 40 receiving yards and has not cracked the top 10 on any other time. And touchdown-wise, he scored in week 1 and week 3. But the question is Pat Freiermuth doesn't look like a starter. And to see him ranked 14th is a stretch. I would look for somebody else. At number 15, Tyler Higbee, home versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is where, again, Tyler Higbee, he's on a sometimes a potent offense, but he is getting some yardage. So if we look back, it might not have happened in week 6, but he is getting some yardage. He got no touchdowns on the season, and so you're really looking to see if they're going to turn to him. But that's not going to cut it. And what I want to do before I leave here is I want to look at the top 30 tight ends again to see where we're at, okay? So if we do that, we're going to go back and take a look at this before we move on. So this is week 6 results. You have Dalton Schultz, Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith. You had 2 tight ends from the Atlanta Falcons in your top 15. Look at this. Brenton Strange, Evan Ingram. Where is Evan Ingram on this list? 2 tight ends for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Gerald Everett made an appearance. And I think those are the things that we're going to have to kind of point out. But if you just want to look at this list one more time before you move on, this might be the week that you want to take a look at some of these players. And that's going to do it. I won't get into talking about their stats or anything like that, but that's what it looks like for tight ends. All right, we're getting into the thick mid-season here, week 7. Good luck. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.